Welcome, collectors. In today's video, got a special treat for you. Decided that since the last collection update video was really, for the most part, well received, that I decided to do another one. So in this video, we're going to go over my collection of 1 to 50 scale backhoe loaders. So we got a few from a few different OEMs, or original equipment manufacturers, really in no particular order. So the first one that we're going to start out with is a Untitled John Deere model. And this is the Untitled John Deere 310 SE. This is an older model from the late 90s, I believe. Not a whole lot to write home about this particular one. Obviously, it's an Untitled model, so it's never going to have the highest quality of detail or value in it. And a lot of the decal application on this, in fact, aren't decals. You can see here that they're starting to peel off because, in fact, they're stickers. But for the most part, for the time that this was made, it was solidly made and could take some punishment. And this is one of the ones that I've had since, the late 90s when I was a kid. But the loader bucket would go up to about there, dump to there, and the backhoe had a decent range of movement, nothing great. And your stabilizers would go down, but they weren't, they were never strong enough to hold the backhoe off the ground. So that's the oldest 310 that I have. And this is the newest one that I have. This is the 310 SL. And again, I'm not a big Deere guy, but to my knowledge, this is the newest that Untitled offers. This is part of their Prestige series. So this offers a little bit more detail and functionality, but for it being, 20 plus years newer, you still have all of these huge rivets that are unpainted. They did paint the end of the stabilizer pads to give it that look that it has the rubber on the pads so that you can put the stabilizers down on an asphalt surface without damaging it. But again, it's still not strong enough to hold the wheels off the ground. And in fact, these stabilizers actually don't go down far enough to actually touch the ground. But the cool feature on this is that the hood does open, and you can get a good look at the engine inside. But at least on mine, the hood doesn't stay open, so it just snaps back shut. So next we'll take a look at is case. And the next two, this one and the next one, are also made by Untitled. This one, I believe, was made in about 2011. So, same kind of functionality. Ripper, or the, I don't know why I keep trying to call these rippers. Stabilizers are not strong enough to hold this off the ground. Basic backhoe function. What I would have really liked to have seen on these, because it was a case patent back in the day, I would have liked to have seen the Extend-A-Hoe on here. Because it even says on the decal right there, I don't know if my camera will pick that up. Let's see if it'll focus in on it. But right here, it says case Extend-A-Hoe, but yet it doesn't extend. So that's the slightly older one, and I'll kind of leave that out to show you. This is the newer one I have, and this isn't even the newest one that they offer. There's an even newer version of this, but this is the newest one I have. It's both a Case 580 series. But the main difference, no difference in functionality, the main difference is the bucket is now gray. And there's different decals here and here, and the case nomenclature is updated as well. Also the bucket on the backhoe, it's orange here and gray here. So those are the two case backhoes that I have. This is a first gear model, and this is offered in a bunch of different color options. This is just the standard Komatsu color, but you can get this in orange, I believe, in like a green municipality color. But one of the great things about this one that I love is I actually have it on here. This comes with a bunch of different attachments for both the loader arms and the backhoe arms. But my favorite attachment is this right here. This is a plate compactor. And I love the fact that this comes with it. And this does have the extend-a-hoe option on it. Obviously the stabilizers do work on this. But the loader arm here, with the 4-in-1 bucket, is really finicky on this loader. And for a first gear model, which is very unusual for first gear, this always gave me the impression that something was going to break on it. And again, that's very unusual for first gear. So this is, in my opinion, more of a very delicate backhoe. But it does come with a bunch of different attachments, and that was always something I loved with it. And this is, again, the Komatsu WB146, and I believe they still make these. Alright, so we've seen John Deere, we've seen Case, we just saw Komatsu. Let's transition into Cat. And we'll start with the NZG models. These things are really old. So this was Cat's first backhoe. This is the 416 right here. This is an NZG model. These were made in West Germany. As you can see right here, made in Western Germany. So this thing is really old, prior to the fall of the wall. The thing I love about these NZG backhoes is that although they are very old, allow me just a moment here. You can get over the side of a 1/50th scale dump truck with no problem at all. So always love that about these. And they're super well built. They can take a licking and keep on ticking. So consider its age. It's not going to have the highest level of detail, but the outriggers of the stabilizers do work. And they even had the forethought. This is what again, I don't mean to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but another feature I love about this is if you look here on the operator's seat, you could actually turn it. So if you were operating the backhoe, you can swivel the seat to the rear, or if you were operating the front loader, you can turn the seat to the front. So super cool. So that's the 416. Here is the 416B. So the B model is updated, a little bit newer. Same features overall. The really crude thing about these is the levers or joysticks were just really, really bad looking. Which I still to this day hate. But again, these are really old, and that's just such a little thing. But it's so obvious, especially when you're dealing with open cab machines, that I really wish they would have paid a little bit more attention to. But in all other aspects, these backhoes, again, in my opinion, even today, are some of the better ones you can get on the market. Forgive the little white specks on these tires. So that's the B model. And here is, yep, you guessed it, the C model. This one has the 4 sticks here, or levers, instead of the other ones that just had the 2. Still an open cab machine. And I believe this is, yeah, this axle in front is fixed. It doesn't steer. Not a big deal. So those are the 416s. The last NZG Cat Backhoe that I have. This machine is unique because it's a four-wheel steer backhoe. This is the 436C IT, or Integrated Tool Carrier. NZG made a couple variations of this. This is the more American-style outrigger, but they also had the side shift backhoe with the outriggers that are on the side and go down. But here's the four-wheel steer. Just like that. And although this bucket gives the impression that it's a 4-in-1 bucket, it actually isn't. It's just part of the casting. So there you go. Definitely, if you guys ever get a chance, and this is particularly for the newer collectors to the hobby, if you ever get a chance to get a NZG backhoe and add it to your collection, I would definitely recommend jumping on that as soon as possible. He will not recommend it, or he will not regret it, I should say. So the first Cat Backhoe that Norscot made, the year was 2001. What an awful year that was in terms of our nation's history. Was the 420 IT, and this is another one that came with a bunch of different attachments. Obviously, it came with a bucket. It came with a material handling arm, and I have the forks on here. And then for the back, it came with a regular bucket, a hydraulic hammer, and then what I have on here, this is a auger. But this was way ahead of its time because the outrigger pads, they actually made these flippable. So if you were operating on a, if your diorama or whatever had asphalt, you could put the pads down. If your diorama had dirt, you could flip the pads over to that side. So, great feature. The arms, though, with this being an IT setup, they were never high enough to clear an American-style dump truck, which, to be fair, sucked. But it is what it is. And the backhoe had limited functionality as well, but it did have the extending section, as you can see there. So again, for 2001, it was a pretty nice backhoe. Additionally, for the European market, Norscot came out with the 432D, and this had the side shift mechanism, which actually functioned. Just like that. And the outriggers could be raised or lowered. And both of these came with the same attachments. So just to show you, I had the H70 hammer, and this had the material arm on it. So then it was about 5 years later, in 2006, Norscot came out with the 420E, which has since been modified to the Diecast Masters Core Classic Series line, which is this version right here. Main difference being in the 420E line versus the 420D is they added this right here, which was removable. You could pop that off if you didn't like it. And also, because it was 2007, that was the first year for the, I believe, Power Edge, Power Stripe, whatever that is. But again, came with the same attachments at the rear, same attachments on the front. And likewise, they came out with an E version of the 432 side shift. And this connected to the outrigger, or the stabilizer on the side shift mechanism. And to date, currently the two newest backhoes in the Cat scale model 150th scale range. This is the 420 F2 IT. This was a brand new casting made by Diecast Masters in the Highline series. Still is in the Highline series to this day. And these also came with the same attachments. So auger, bucket, hammer, your 4-in-1 bucket up here, your forks, and your material handling arm. Same exact attachments, but completely new and different casting. So if you're looking for the newest style of Cat Backhoe 1/50 scale, this is the newest American style. And this is the newest European style. This is the 432 F2 backhoe, side shift backhoe. And to finish off the video, and I appreciate those of you that have stayed through the entire thing, this is the special edition in the black onyx finish, the Cat 420 F2 IT backhoe. And this has been recently reviewed on this channel, and it had its own video on it, which I will post a link to in case you haven't seen. This thing is just incredible to look at. Once you get it, really shines under the light. That special finish is just incredible. And this is the one that came with the two figures that had the cat clothing and stuff on it. So there you go, collectors. That is my entire collection to date of 1/50 scale backhoe loaders by a few different OEMs. So you guys let me know down in the comments section below which one is your favorite, perhaps which ones you own. And if you have some other ones that I don't have, maybe which one is your favorite of all time. So as always, guys, I'm Tommy with Diecast Emporium. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.